Welcome back to another session of Heart of the Hustle with Dr. Patrick Woke. Today, we're very lucky to have an honored guest, Zawadi Bryant, the CEO of Acute Care Pediatrics. Great to have you here today.
Great to be here, Patrick.
Well, we're very blessed to have such an amazing guest. And I think you're also with a new president and CEO of another company called, is it Mednex? Mednex Medical Group, is that correct?
Absolutely, yes. Okay. Yeah, we were just acquired. My company of 14 years, we were acquired by Mednex last March.
Well, congratulations. That must be very exciting.
It is very exciting. New opportunities, new growth potential. And so we're excited to be with the larger group. Larger, more resources, great infrastructure, more capital. Everyone loves more capital. It's always a good thing.
So very interesting. Like you were just talking right now, I'm sorry to mind interrupt, but you were just talking about, looking forward and all the things. Like you look at forward like 2 years from now, like in your vision, what do you see like where you want to go, not just with your business, but maybe your personal life?
Yeah. So personally, I've always had a heart for mentoring and teaching entrepreneurship. So I'd like to spend more time doing that. I love seeing other businesses thrive and grow. And also I have a heart for missions here and abroad. And so I am now director of one of our mission programs at my church. We have a school in Kenya. And so I've been working really closely with them to help build and establish what they're doing there. And so I hope to grow that endeavor and add more schools to the continent of Africa. And I'm really excited about spending more time doing that.
How did you find out about the school in Kenya?
Well, my ministry, I go to a church called Reflections of Christ's Kingdom, and we've been doing missions work in Africa for a very long time. And our pastor was in Kenya doing a missions trip, doing conferences, teaching. And someone approached him and said, we have this school in the slums of Nairobi that we think that you might be interested in. Just, I won't say luck. I would say it was vision. It was, the providential hand of God, just out of the blue. Someone's like, there's a school that needs new ownership. And so our pastor went down to the slums, saw it, and he said, where's the papers? I'd love to have it. So we've been doing missions work there, I would say, for at least 5 years, if not more.
That is an amazing story. And that commitment to helping others is something that is very important, to not only to yourself and to peers, but also to our community as a large. Let me take a step back and learn a little bit about how you started this business. I think there's a lot of people in our audience who be very interested in understanding of like how you began, those early roots, and how did this acute care come about?
Well, a friend of mine, Dr. Anastasia Dentals, we went to church together, the same church, and she was working in the emergency room at one of the children's hospitals. And she was just, full of kids. She was like, the ER is full of kids late at night. And, and they're not there for life-threatening illnesses or situations. It's just, they had no other place to go for their cold, cough, flu, fever, simple, acute, illnesses. And she came to me one day while we were actually running. We were running buddies as well. Wow. And she was like, I have this idea that, I think it would be a good business idea, but I'm not in business. I'm a medical doctor. So I don't know what constitutes a good business. Will you help me put a business plan together? Wow. And I said, sure. I'd love to find out more, help you research, get it on paper, get it into a form you can get a loan or sell it to whomever, your stakeholders. And she was like, I don't know what that is, but okay. So, we had a lot of fun putting it together. And as we were putting it together, I realized what a great business idea it was to not only help parents and children, but also their time, their money, and just it's a better environment to treat kids outside of the emergency room. And so as we started going, she was like, I really think you should be partners with me. Wow. And I was like, I'm not in medicine. I don't know anything about medicine. I'm an engineer. I work in oil and gas. Like, I don't know about this. And so I prayed about it, and it just, talked to my husband about it. And he was like, well, you wanted to do something different for a while. Why not consider this? And so, 14 years later, we started with one really small clinic, because I still was not a skeptic, but I was like, let's just try it, not, put both feet in. So we established a really small clinic next to Babies R Us in Sugar Land.
Wow.
We figured if we can't make it next to Babies R Us, then it's definitely not a good idea. So we opened it up as 4 exam rooms, really small. And within months, we were swamped. And so we said, okay, we have something here. And we opened a second, and then the third, and 8 units later, here we are. So it's been a great ride. I've learned a lot. I learned that I'm in the people business. Pretty much any business is if you have employees.
Absolutely.
You're in the people business as far as employees, as far as patients and parents. And so, I spend my day studying people. And the numbers, of course, are important as well. But it's really, how do I get our employees to be their best selves? How do I please the patients and give the best care possible and make sure the parents are happy as well? So it's, I'm in the people business, I say.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think we all have to understand is no matter what you're in, finance, accounting, that it's always the people business. It always comes back to that. Let's go back even further. And this really hits on what I talk about is the heart of the entrepreneur, the heart of the hustle. Tell a little bit about growing up as an entrepreneur. Well, how is it growing up where you did, all the challenges you grew up as a youth, and maybe talk about how some of those struggles helped form you into becoming the entrepreneur you are today.
Yeah, I would just say growing up, I didn't have the smoothest childhood. I had an amazing mother who I credit everything to. But, we struggled, we moved around a lot. And my father battled with drug addiction. So he was in and out of our lives. But I had a family with 4 siblings.
Wow.
2 brothers, 2 sisters. And so we're close even today. So I think, struggle kind of brings you closer. That's one outcome. And so we just are a very close-knit family. My mom is our rock, and she just stressed doing your best, not making excuses. Education was first and foremost. She made sure that all of us went to the best schools and that we had all of the essentials. And so I say, you just need the essentials and love and, someone at least to have some vision. My mom was very connected. She worked at IBM, as an administrator, and she made sure that I met engineers and scientists, and, I worked in the manufacturing floor. And so I was always exposed to bigger and greater things. And so for me, that's always been the key. When I'm talking to students or, young people, I try to expose them, because to me, my world would have been small and a world of struggle and issues. But my mom, she just gave me a window into seeing into amazing opportunities, people being successful, thriving, doing amazing things, having patents, creating, having inventions. And so that just got me to thinking, there's so much more out there than what I was used to and what I was experiencing.
Absolutely.
And so I think that's just kind of my drive. I know in my heart that there's always something greater, something better. And so that's kind of, for me, kind of my mantra or my vision is okay, there's always something greater. There's always something better beyond even my current circumstance and situation.
Absolutely. Well, and that's a beautiful and amazing story. One of the things I would say is we have a lot of people out in the audience who are probably going through struggles like you did when you were younger. And if you could, take a look back, for those people going through the struggles, and they're probably trying to figure out, how do I handle this? How do I deal with this? With addiction or, loss of, maybe loss of someone in the family. What would you, if you could look back, what would you say to them?
I would just say, first and foremost, I think for me, having my mom was paramount. And so, hopefully there's someone that they can trust and someone that can assist them. Because I think, I'm not sure, if I would be where I was without my mom, but I do know that there were other people that were kind of tangential that were also pivotal in my life. So I would just, seek out help.
Okay.
Sometimes you just need someone to talk to, someone to, give you exposure to another reality. And then also, if you're a believer or a praying person, I think that also helps as well. Give you a center, give you hope, give you, give you something positive to think about. I think about, like, for me, scripture is very grounding for me. Reading was very grounding to me. Just reading also was huge for me. Several teachers stressed the importance of reading. Absolutely. Also gives you a window into another reality, gives you an opportunity, exposure, even though it's not tangible. It's at least you hear about it, you read about it, you can have a vision about it. And so I think there's outlets, people that are going through, either through people reading. I went to my mom again, put me in environments again that were different. She put me in summer camps, even, for kids that were on free lunch or reduced lunch, I would always go to a summer camp. There was always something, there was always another opportunity for me to be exposed to something else. And so I just encourage people to at least seek out opportunities to be exposed to other things.
Perfect. Yeah. And closing real quick, one golden nugget you want to share with the audience that just, that quick idea, quick phrase that they can take with them today.
Yeah, I would just say for me, again, it was always being positive, because there was plenty of things to be negative about. And I know it's easier said than done, but, to be positive, to have hope, to grab onto something. And, even like I said, if it's reading a book, going to the library, I know plenty of people that said they lived in the library to get out of their current situation and reality. So I would just say, find something that is positive, that's aspirational, that gives you hope. And look at things as, you could look at a glass of water and see it half full or half empty. And I would just say, look at it and say it's half full.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again. That's it for Heart of the Hustle for today. Thank you again, Zawadi, for coming into the studio. It was amazing to have you.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you, Patrick.